Time to touch our bags and drop our sacks on this mailbag edition of Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Happy to have you with us. You got questions, you're in luck, because I got answers. Before we do, folks, we're on the verge of 17,000 subscribers here on the channel, less than 75 away from reaching that next milestone. Subscribe now for free for daily Baltimore Ravens news and rumors. We're also going to be bringing you some watch parties throughout the season, breaking news anytime the Ravens make a signing or addition, whatever it may be. Join the family now. Subscribe for free, youtube.com/RavensTV for daily Ravens coverage you won't find anywhere else. First question in the mailbag this week. Chow, Lightning McQueen in the chat. What are your expectations for Zay Flowers in year 2? It's interesting when you look at Zay Flowers last year. He had a solid season, and I was listening to somebody the other day talk about Zay Flowers and say that he didn't quite live up to the expectations of a first-round receiver last year. And I disagree. I thought he did good enough and that there was enough building blocks to feel optimistic about him going forward. Was he the best rookie receiver last year? No. There was a couple of guys that were better than him. Rashee Rice, Tank Dell, Puka Nacua, just to name a few, right? Zay wasn't probably one of the top 3 rookie receivers last year, if we're going to be totally honest with you, but he was still very good. And with this Ravens offense, you think about this, you don't have OBJ anymore, right? And you have question marks surrounding Rashad Bateman, as well as what are you going to get out of Nelson Aguilar? Mark Andrews is another year older. I think Zay Flowers is going to be asked more of him, that he is going to naturally take on a bigger role. I think the expectation is at a minimum 1,000 yards this season and 7 or 8+ touchdowns. I think that Zay Flowers is due for an outstanding season. As long as he stays healthy, there's going to be some exciting football ahead. Remember the talk last offseason. Everybody loved what they saw in the workouts and in camp and all that with Zay Flowers. They were talking about, hey, this could be a guy that ends up one day being the best receiver in Ravens history. I still think that's possible for Zay Flowers. Best is yet to come. His best football's in front of him. Do you believe in Zay Flowers? Type B for believe. Type D for don't. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think on our pinned comment today, if you believe in Zay Flowers or not. Next up, Friday the 13th wants to know, how will Roquan Smith be affected by the loss of Patrick Queen? Very good question, Friday the 13th. And you look at Roquan Smith, I think the answer is he won't be affected much at all, because Roquan Smith, whether it's in Baltimore or Chicago, the defensive scheme he was in, the coaching staff he was under, Roquan Smith has played good everywhere he's been, no matter what. Roquan Smith doesn't need necessarily a wingman to make him better. Roquan Smith last year, I think, played some of the best football of his career, had the best season of his career, quite frankly. The stats don't necessarily tell the whole story, although he had his lowest total tackle total in the last 3 years. But remember, he didn't have to play in that Week 18 contest against the Pittsburgh Steelers, so you have to take that for data for a second as well. But Roquan Smith, for me, I think another year in this system, another year into his prime here. If anything, I think this might come off as a hot take, if you will, but without Patrick Queen there, Roquan Smith might take on more responsibility, might try to do more necessarily. So I think if there's any effect, it's not that Roquan Smith's play gets any worse. I think that the effect is that more is asked of him potentially, and he just takes his play up to another level. And also the mentor process. He's going to be asked more to coach up Trenton Simpson and, be there for him and teach him how to play the position and stuff, such like that. So I think Roquan Smith's play is only going to get better from here. I don't expect it to be a massive change, but we shall see. Nate Wiggins jersey's on sale now. Chatsports.com/Wiggins. Sub out that 1482. And we have all sorts of different options for you. The purple jersey, the white jersey, the black jersey. We also have free shipping available for you as well. Go to chatsports.com Stephens.com/Wiggins to get your jersey today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. We'll also have other Ravens gear for you as well. Go see for yourself. Chatsports.com/Wiggins to get yours now. Drip wants to know, will the Ravens extend Brandon Stephens anytime soon? I think there's a decent chance that Brandon Stephens does get an extension here. Brandon Stephens coming off the best season of his career in 2023, where he was the Ravens' best corner last year, where he had 2 interceptions, 74 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 11 pass breakups. I really enjoyed what we saw from Brandon Stephens last year. And you think about this Ravens cornerback room when you add him to the table that includes Nate Wiggins coming in now, and you just drafted T.J. Tampa, and of course you have Marlon Humphrey there as well. This is going to be a really good corner unit. They are going to be very competitive to see who wins the outside corner spots between Humphrey and Stephens and Wiggins, and that all remains to be seen of how that's going to go. I think a lot of it comes down to who's ultimately going to be available, particularly with Marlon Humphrey, if he can stay healthy or not. But Brandon Stephens, I think if you're the Baltimore Ravens, you don't save a ton of money by extending him right now, as I think we ran the numbers on this, that it would create about $1.85 million in potential cap space if you do an extension for Stephens at the moment. But what you do potentially, if you take care of Brandon Stephens now, let's just say for all intents and purposes that he has another big year this next year, and you don't have an extension done, then that price tag's got a potential possibility to really just jump up and skyrocket, where he costs you a whole lot more money, comparatively speaking, to what you would pay now if you decide to extend him at this point in time. So while you may not save a ton this offseason by taking care of the extension, you could save yourself a lot of money down the road, and I think the Ravens are keeping that in mind. Let's ask you, your chance to be Eric DeCosta. Should the Ravens extend Brandon Stephens? Type E for extend, type P for pass. Weigh in the comments section and let us know what you think if the Ravens should extend Stephens or not. Last question, is Charlie Kolar ever going to break through? I really hope so. I was somebody that was pretty high on Charlie Kolar coming out of Iowa State. And the comparison that Charlie Kolar had drawn out of Iowa State, everybody said that he was very similar to Mark Andrews. When it came to his playing style, Kolar, of course, came from Norman, Oklahoma. Where did Mark Andrews play his high school ball, or plays college ball? The University of Oklahoma in Norman. So I'm sure that they crossed paths many years ago. But the truth of the matter is that Charlie Kolar just hasn't really gotten much of an opportunity to show up and show out yet. Remember, he dealt with that sports hernia issue his rookie season, which kept him out for most of the year. And then last year, we didn't see him on the field a ton. They did use him in their version of the tush push. I think they called it the Kolar Express, if you will. So that was pretty cool, but that was really about it, what we saw from Charlie Kolar. I think if they decide that they want to use Charlie Kolar in the passing game, that he can be right up there with Isaiah Likely. I think the talent is there. He just has to have the opportunity to do it. Will he ever break through? I hope so. I'm optimistic, but it remains to be seen. Because here's the reality here, folks. This goes across the board with both Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and Charlie Kolar, all three. The Ravens, for as good as that tight end room is, the best in the NFL, they did not effectively use the position last year. It was a grand total of less than 13% of the Ravens' offensive snaps last year that they ran 12 personnel. That's unacceptable when you got that good of a tight end room. So the job for Todd Monken, whether it's Kolar, whether it's Andrews, Isaiah Likely, he needs to do a better job of getting these guys on the field together and exposing those matchups against those opposing defenses in that regard, and they'll all benefit from it. Who is a player that will be a breakout candidate in 2024? Is it a guy like Charlie Kolar, or is it somebody else? Well, in the comments section, let us know what you think. Subscribe now to Ravens Rundown for continuing Ravens coverage. We'll see you next time here on the channel.